everyone.
Mr. and Mrs. Traveler here.
It's Ilka's Glam.
All right, everybody. So thank you so much for tuning in today. We have some exciting news for you. As you know, we have been really big proponents of MSC cruises for quite some time. We're probably one of the very first bloggers that actually went on MSC years and years ago and tried to give them a shot. And of course, we brought to you the very honest truth that the food was a little rough and things were a little bit rough on there. And so we've watched them over the years as they have progressed in their quest to become a competitor here in the American marketplace.
Yes, I love MSC. I pretty much like every ship is just some that needs a little bit more work than others. But for the most part, I like the line and I'll cruise it again.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's definitely a work in progress. And, the MSC, we really like the seaside, the seashore, the seascape, and the seaside.
The sea view and the Magnifica.
And of course, Divina. So, but those seaside ones, those are really beautiful ships. I really, really love them. So we got some exciting news for you. And in their effort, I think, to more Americanize the line and bring them more closely into competition with Carnival. I really think Carnival is like their main target that they're going after. I kind of get that vibe.
Oh, yeah.
That they're really trying to target that audience. But anyway, so we actually went back in April on the Magnifica.
We did, and we enjoyed it too. It was a fun ship.
So while we were on the Magnifica, we were doing our live, and we heard an announcement come over, and we were actually doing the live on there, and somebody said, "That sounds like Dr. E."
Oh my God, like this ship is just beautiful. It's got lounges everywhere, it's got glass elevators, it's got bridge on the back, it's got all these shops, it's got chocolate bar, it's got this yacht club. So it's like getting over here, it's really nice. But they called me and they was like, "Hey, we need you to go." I said, "All right, I'm on the way." So I came directly, just transferred straight over. So I came from there to here.
So if you're not familiar, Reverend Dr. E, formerly from Carnival Cruise Line, was on the Magnifica with us.
Yes.
We had absolutely no idea, and I'm like, somebody said it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And then
I think that was his first time sailing.
It was his
as a cruise director.
Yeah, it was his very first sailing on the Magnifica. So
when they say like crew family, like with family, it's very much like that. We all have our own departments, and like casino works, strange hours, so they have their own lifestyle on board. But we also have crew parties and crew events, beach parties. We try to incorporate more and things that we can do as crew.
That was his very first sailing, so we really wanted to try to grab him and and talk to him, but he was like so super busy with that being his first time. It was his first ship with MSC. But it was, it was a short cruise that we were on. We had a lot of fun on that cruise. And fast forward to July, we went on our anniversaries in July, so we normally do a little cruise.
Yes.
And
we celebrated 24 years.
Yes, 24 beautiful years. And we did the MSC SEASHORE this time. We did the Seashore again. We really liked those ships. They were nice, and the price was right and everything. So we decided to do that for our anniversary.
I said, why not?
Oh.
What company was I with before? I can't tell you, but I can tell you they ride with Carnival. They ride with Carnival. Yes, ma'am. Do I only work on this particular MSC ship? So I will be here. This will be my ship home for a little bit. So I'll be here from now until I leave August 29th. Then I go on vacation. I come back in October someday. I don't know the day.
Got on board the ship, and lo and behold, we're standing there, and all of a sudden I hear, "Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning." And I'm like,
we like,
wait a minute.
One person that say that all the time.
Wait a minute. So he has actually been, I would assume this would be a promotion. He was moved over to the Seashore.
Yes.
And we were actually on the very first sailing with him on the Seashore.
We really was. So we were spending a lot of time with Dr. E. Thank you, Dr. E, so much. We appreciate you. And we just want to say, yes, we are not stalking Dr. E. He just happened to pop up on the ships that we actually sail.
So I'd like to talk about it a little bit. So I do have some information about him I'd like to share with you. We did try to procure an interview with him, but I think that MSC has some catching up to do when it comes to bloggers. We've seen some other bloggers have issues with MSC with their filming the ships and things like that. And I think that there was an issue that they don't necessarily want their employees doing interviews unscripted and things like that. So we did get a chance to talk to him off camera for a little bit. And then he did have a Q&A session, which we have some footage that we'll share with you here on the video. So I'll give you some background on this. And I'm doing this because I'm trying to tell you that this is yet another step in the progression of MSC as they try to become Americanized. And I want to tell you some of the differences that we experienced with him. I'll give you some background on him and some of the difference that we experienced on the ship now that he was the cruise director on this ship. And we have been on this ship before, so we have a real rock solid comparison before and after.
Yes, we do. We decided that we're going to bring you this information. And let me just stop you right here. If you're new to our channel, welcome. Thank you so much for watching. If you can, make sure you smash that like button, and you can just go ahead and join our talks. We actually finished the talk after we finished the video on Mr. Traveler Cruise Lovers and Mr. Traveler, where we're on Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram, LCOS for glamour. And I also mention our travels over there as well, along with Mr. Traveler on Instagram on Mr. Traveler 74.
Yeah, if you would, please subscribe. That's the biggest comment you could pay to us. So we really appreciate it. So let's talk about it a little bit. And I want to make a kind of a prediction here when it comes to the good Reverend Dr. E. And I'm going to start right there because that is one of the topics that came up during his Q&A session. He was born in the South, I believe it was Alabama, and his mother was actually an evangelist.
Now, I grew up in the South, Atlanta, Georgia. All right, my mom was from Jasper, Alabama, and all over Alabama. If you don't know anything about the Bible Belt line, then you know Bible told Baptist woman. Now, so I grew up in the church. Now, church is different from church. Okay, church means Bible stool on Sunday morning before service, after service, in the parking lot, holding the Titus mother's arm fat right there. And then Tuesday Bible study, Wednesday Bible study, and then, of course, back again for vacation Bible school. So I grew up in the church. When I got on board and you got to comments, they would put things that my name was Everson. So when they got to, oh my God, they would write everything but Everson in the comments. Like, oh, EpiPen was great, Effervescence was fantastic, Everest, the black dude from Atlanta, the handsome black guy, the black dude in fedora, the handsome colored American. I was like, oh, they're trying there. So then they was like, man, just use a nickname. And the band would always be, they would wait for me to finish bingo. So they would go, they were like, the Reverend Dr. E, and they would hit the keys, like that. They said, because whenever you host bingo, I just feel like I can see you casting demons out the bingo balls and the money raining from the heavens above, and so stuff like that. So I used it for one cruise and it just took off, right? So my mom is an ordained minister. So I grew up in the church with that part. So definitive course, anytime I can ever connect and make sure to speak to somebody's soul and heart, I always use that. But now I am actually ordained online because a couple of people that I introduced are married, they've been married, and one of them was like, will you marry us? And so I had to get my online ordination. So yes, technically now I am an online ordained minister. So yes, that's all it is, yeah.
And
sounds familiar.
And well, he was telling the story about a friend really wanted him to perform a wedding ceremony for them. So he really did go online and got ordained online. So he is a reverend. So his mother came on board the ship, and she's an evangelist, so they don't play that stuff. So she kept asking him, like, why are they calling you Reverend? So, but ultimately she ended up being cool with it, and she, she kind of considers it a bit of a ministry for him to bring, happiness and things into people's lives during their vacation time.
His family support him in that way, because some, don't. But he sounds like he has a really solid background, a lovely foundation of upbringing, and we just enjoy him when we're on the ships.
Yeah.
But I did not choose that nickname for myself. I would not ever give my name that title, right? But my mom came on board, and she goes, I didn't tell her, and she goes, give it up for the, and my friend Matt was screaming like, give it up for the Reverend Dr. E, who's from England. Give it up for Reverend Dr. E. As soon as I came off stage, my mom said, excuse me, what did they call you, Everson? What was that? My mom was one of those over-enunciators. She goes, Everson, excuse me, what did I hear them call you? I was like, Reverend, what? Reverend Doctor what? Keep playing with the Lord. Keep playing with the Lord, right? But then later on, after she came to stay with me again, she was like, you know what? I look at it and I look at the way you affect people and how happy they are. She's like, maybe this is your ministry. And so now she's okay with it. So it's nice. It's a lot of fun. Hey, got the flag. What flag is that? I don't know what flag is that. Venezuela, Venezuela.
So the question was asked how he got into the being a cruise director, and he went into a lot of times that people have to have the hospitality background, they like you have entertainment background, that kind of a thing. So it was 2011, and he was working in television in Atlanta, and his friend went on a cruise, and when his friend came back from the cruise, he called him up directly and was like, "Dude, this is the job for you." And his friend like pressured him to apply to be a cruise director for a cruise line. And ultimately, if you don't know, he ended up being, I'm quite sure you do, he ended up being one of the most popular cruise directors for Carnival Cruise Line. So he had a really good following over there, and now he's with MSC.
He is, which is very interesting to jump from one cruise line to another. We're going to definitely keep following Dr. E. And I just think his story is just remarkable, how his upbringing had a lot to do with him becoming a director right now. And we just enjoy him every time we sail with him.
Yes, absolutely. So here's my prediction. Okay, so I want to make sure I get this right. So he is going on vacation August 29th. So he's going to be on the seashore till August 29th. When he returns will be in October, and then he is scheduled for the seashore from October to February right now. So
what does that mean? Spill the tea.
Does anybody know of anything special that might be happening in the springtime next year with MSC?
I do. There's a new ship.
Yeah. I 100% guarantee you, he didn't say this, I 100% guarantee you he's going to be on MSC World America.
I'm almost sure he's going to be the cruise director on that bad boy, because that is a bad ship, and bad in good way.
I'm going to go out and say that Dr. E is going to be not necessarily the John Held of MSC, but he's going to be the lead cruise director for the American side of the house.
I really feel like a lot of people flock to him and follow him. He has a large following, and they made an excellent decision with that. Comment below and let us know if you sailed with Dr. E before.
So let me say this. We've told you guys this before. MSC had, no matter what ship you're on, they have the livest white party at sea.
Hands down, the livest.
I crawled back to the stateroom.
Me too.
I couldn't leave.
Here's a little clip of the white party. Here it is right here. Down the livest white party you can ever go to on a cruise ship, ever.
Yeah. Dr. E put that on steroids.
It was on 1,000, another level. When he was over the party, it was not one DJ, it was two.
Two DJs. He had the DJs battling under that. Listen, like I couldn't leave. We were having so much fun. And then by the time we got done, I mean, I was through.
Done. Yes, and we jumped pretty much for 7 days straight.
So
Dr. E made sure it was lively. He made sure everybody had fun. It was a genre of different music and people from all around the world. He had everybody covered.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, he just brought such a different energy to the ship. And again, we've been on the ship before and experienced it, and we had a great time the last time. But he brought such a different energy to the ship that the guests really, really enjoyed on here.
Yep.
Whether it was the intro to the theater shows, whether it was stuff in the
He
lobby,
showed up
whether it
everywhere.
was the white party. He just brought a whole nother energy that we have never seen on MSC. We've been on a lot of MSC cruises.
Yes.
He brought a whole nother line of energy, and I guarantee you that he is going to help pave the way to change the way that they do cruise directors for the American market in
Mark
MSC.
our words, we almost been on 80 cruises. We know what we're talking about. We are veterans. We own a travel franchise. That's why I said if you're ready to travel with us, just go ahead and call us. We'll be waiting on you. And to me, Dr. E showed up at every single venue we went to. And most cruise directors don't have time to do that. He even had time to step to the side to talk to us. So we appreciate that from him as well. Most cruise directors, you don't see them the whole entire cruise. He was at every single thing we went to. We
Yep.
even saw him passing through dinner.
Yeah,
He
we
was
sure.
even in the dinner.
He was in the buffet.
Yes, he was at the buffet.
He was
We
at the
saw
buffet.
him. He was everywhere. And shout out to Dr. E for your hard work. You
And-
make our cruises better.
And I seen him because the staff are so used to doing things the way they've been doing them. And then this was his first cruise on the seashore. I saw him really working,
He was working
trying
hard.
to teach the DJs how to go with his flow, and get the staff on his flow and everything. So he was really working hard.
His mannerism with the staff, we were standing back watching, and he was, kind of directing them the way that they should go, but not in a mean way, because we was definitely, our eyes was on him. We was kind of standing back a little bit. A lot of people noticed us that was on the ship. We was like, hey, how you doing? Hi. Then we went right back to work.
Yeah.
But we noticed his mannerism with the staff was just remarkable, excellent, and he is, from what I heard, a really fun person to work with.
And during the Q&A, he had pretty good turnout on there, and I asked him about the challenges of working with the crew on MSC. Definitely is going to be a challenge working on there, and some other people were asking about the crew too. I think one of the surprising things that I learned from his Q&A session was he said that you said you would be surprised that some of the staff that work on that ship, the things that they do back at home. He said there's actually people that are doctors and other lawyers, professionals, got professional degrees back in their home, but they actually make more money on the cruise ships to send back and support their families at home. So I just thought that was really mind-blowing.
That's a lot to learn about the staff. When you cruising, you should get to know the staff a little bit, get to know their hometowns, ask them where they from, what's their background. They love to talk about things like that. But when you hear you have doctors and lawyers, people with degrees who are working on these cruise ships, as staff, you have to give your heart to them when you talk to them. And being in America is a blessing. We can go ahead and go on a cruise and come back home. You have to think about where they have to go back home too. So just have a nice conversation with them and thank them for their service. They work hard for us. We know we can tear some rooms up, over the week in the cabins. They work so hard for us. So especially Dr. E, he have to put this facade on for all the cruises, all the people that's on the cruise, and there's thousands of people that he deal with. So hats off.
Oh, and let me share this last tidbit with you that he did share at his Q&A. On one of his signature things that he says is chow chow double chow when he does his sign out. Double chisel, double
Chow,
chisel,
chow, double chisel.
double chisel.
He says chow chow double chisel.
So
Where do you think you got that from?
So he started talking about it during his talk, and apparently, so there's these two Italian guys that worked on board the ship that he was on, and they couldn't hardly speak any English. And if you've ever been to Italy, or when they leave, they usually say ciao ciao. That's how they usually say goodbye. So anyway, he said they would always do that on the elevator, ciao ciao. And he said he was on one of the Tom Joyner cruises, the Fantastic Voyage, on board the ship, and he was on the elevator with Snoop Dogg and those two Italian people. And when the Italian people got the elevator and they were like ciao ciao, Snoop Dogg was like, oh, double chisel.
Shout out to Snoop.
So that's where he got that from. I thought that was so funny.
He always say for cheesy or something like that. He put a easy on the end. It's funny.
So anyway, listen, guys, we want to thank you so much for tuning into this. Thank you, Dr. E. We'll see you on the MSC World America. I know you're going.
That's right. Ciao, ciao, double chisel from El Cos Glam and Mr. Traveler.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening.
Life short.
Have fun.
See the world. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.